Hi, this is Kathy Weymouth from Tune the Temple, and it dawned on me this morning that there are so many people who are not aware of the need for setting boundaries. They don't even recognize that their life is lacking boundaries. They haven't been taught to set them. They maybe don't even have the word boundary setting or that phrase or even the word boundaries in their radar. And often what happens is people develop a number of stressful issues in their life. And maybe when they're sharing with someone else, such as a friend or a counselor, the person says to them, "Oh, I can see that you're lacking boundaries." So this was me. I was in counseling and my counselor said to me, "Kathy, you're lousy at setting boundaries." And I was like, "Oh, tell me a little bit more about it." And you know what? It isn't easy to set boundaries. It does create some discomfort, but the end results are what you're looking for, which is the improved life, the more peace, the lack of overcommitment, all kinds of things that are going to make your life better. So since you're watching my video, I'm guessing you are aware that you need help with setting boundaries. So what I'd like you to do for this video is just think about your friends and your family. Is there anyone in your life that you could encourage to help, encourage them to set boundaries to improve the quality of their life? Okay, so let me give you some signs. Now, remember, you're thinking of someone else here because I'm sure you're already aware of your own need for boundaries. But is there anyone in your life that qualifies with any of these? I came up with like 8 things. Here we go. Number 1, do you know anyone who shares that they're feeling overcommitted? They're stressed out. They're so overcommitted. They've got so much on their plate, they can barely breathe. And maybe part of it that goes along with it is they really have a hard time saying no. They find it very uncomfortable to say no when asked to do something. Okay, so overcommitment, being stressed out, having difficulty saying no is a really good sign that someone is not great at setting boundaries. Okay, do you know someone who has a tendency to be rescuing someone, like taking over someone else's responsibilities, and then they're complaining? "Oh, my son, he lives with us, but he doesn't help with the dishes, he doesn't do this, he's not responsible with his money." Or that, it could be anyone in their life that they feel is not responsible and they have to pick up the pieces. Okay, that's rescuing that person. Okay, do you know anyone that fits that category? Okay, yeah, I do too. Okay, do you know anyone who has relationship issues? That pretty much fits all of us, right? In one time or another in our lives, especially difficulty with family issues. That could be a real key sign of they're having a hard time setting boundaries with other people. All right, what about self-care issues? Do you know anyone who has a really hard time putting their health ahead of all of their other commitments and all of the needs of other people? Now, that runs really strong in caregivers. They have such a hard time because it's all about taking care of the other person. And that can cross into some really dangerous zones, because if you're not taking care of yourself or someone is not taking care of themselves, then eventually some real health issues can develop over time, okay? And I think I've been a candidate with that. Not that I was a caregiver, but just always liking to be needed and wanting to be helpful and hating to disappoint people. That caused me to really help people a lot. And so you have to watch out for that. So do you know anyone who really has a hard time putting their own self-care ahead of all the other demands in life? Okay, that's a sign of lack of boundaries. Okay, this is a big one. What about disrespect? Do you know anyone who is tolerating disrespect? Like they are being spoken to disrespectfully, they are being treated disrespectfully, they could even abuse. That can go as far as, just from words to all the way to abuse. Do you know anyone who has a lot of disrespect or continual disrespect coming at them from a certain person? That shows a lack of boundaries, okay? What about, let's see if I have, people that wish they could communicate their needs, but they just struggle with that. They struggle with opening up their heart and their mouths with sharing what their needs are and what it is that they need from other people. Whoa, that's a tough one. If you struggle with that, then it's going to be really hard to speak up and set boundaries. Not that it's impossible, it's just more challenging. So anyway, these are just a few things. I'm going to just look at my list real quick. I think I said them all. I mentioned them all. There's tons more evidence that someone could be lacking boundaries. If you know of anyone, would you just send them along to this video, or forward this email that you received from me, or send them to tunethetemple.com if you think that they could be benefited by these short videos that I'm doing almost on a weekly basis. Okay, this is Kathy Weymouth from tunethetemple.com.